first BO3 of Group C. Take it away, E-Mode, and top.
Thanks so much, Trace. And one thing you guys were always talking about was food. You guys talked about barbecues, potatoes, hot dogs. I mean, you guys were...
You're making me hungry, man.
I think they're hungry. Why don't they get off this desk and go take out a little bit of a takeout? And we'll see who ends up taking out who here. MIBR versus Luminosity on Inferno to start it off. We've got a little bit of a CT aggression. They really want to fight for these apartments right now. Great shot from Phelps. Can he turn the corner? He does successfully so. Now he's got a little bit of a crossfire, or rather he retreats, but Fur single-handedly locks up the stairwell, and he is holding Steel down to the last man alive. MIBR with a perfect pistol round, not allowing Luminosity to even get out of the gates.
Yeah, and that was just based off MIBR's Hall's aggression there. You actually see Fur, as well as his teammates, go and contest that window area. Luminosity towards that alternate middle, able to actually fight that off for a little bit, but eventually once they go into that funneled area of that T side of apartments, we're going to see Fur come out with a beautiful 3K and end up picking up that round for MIBR. So good start for them right now, and Luminosity, on the other hand, will be going off onto an eco. We haven't seen too many ecos in that second round thus far. A lot of teams in the past few days have been forcing up on that second round and trying to get something going.
Yep, and just to, I'm sure everybody that is in chat right now is a huge Brazilian fan, considering this is Brazil versus Brazil. But if you're joining us and you don't know the history between these teams, Luminosity was coming out of the Mountain Dew League prior to this. They were 11-6 through the season and then ended up dropping out in the playoffs, I think losing to the Bad News Bears 2-1.
Yeah, it was a really rough season, I'd say, overall for Luminosity, one of the more favored teams coming into this MDL season. But, of course, they just came out kind of flat-footed during it, not being able to place where I'm sure they expected themselves to place. But, nonetheless, they find themselves in the EPL Pro League due to an invite, and that's due to Rogue actually having to drop
dropping out. I mean, sometimes it's good to be lucky. It's good to be in the right place, the right time, and have a team that has that kind of capability to be bumped up into this division. So, MIBR, of course, we've all heard about their recent success as well.
Yeah, I mean, going back to, I guess Miami would have been the first little life we've seen out of them in quite some time, actually, since the major, where they went up against Astralis and then finally fell there. They had a really nice run at the major. It showed some good promise, but then after WESG and so on, up until Miami, they were really lackluster in all of their finishes. Miami, they took that third finish, but the big story, I guess, in there was the 16-2 on Astralis that nobody was expecting.
Yeah, a team that's been relatively quiet for the past 6 months plus has suddenly roared right back after a single game. You know, it's just like, wow, what happened? So right now we've got MIBR winning the pistol round and having the SMG advantage. Luminosity haven't invested a dime into this round. Nothing more than just the Glocks that they inherently take into the round. They've lost their first, and there's plenty of SMGs on the field to make extra money. Here's the thing, though. These SMGs are going to look fantastic on this round, but let's say, for example, Fur, who's at top banana right now, he's not frontliner, but if he does end up picking up a lot of kills, there's a lot of potential money gaining wasted. It's up to Phelps to actually pick up these frags right now. He's got the first, look for the second, point blank range, easy peasy. One underneath him, though, I believe. Sneaky beaky bolts.
Yeah, he's actually not going to check that running on by. There will be a little bit of contact made onto Taco. Fur able to take that one down, however, and it's all onto Steel here. MIBR, pretty standard eco round, getting aggressive towards Banana, ending it early, and we should be moving on to guns momentarily.
Yeah, I don't see Steel being able to pick up a kill unless Taco manages to waltz out in front of Steel, and they're hunting for him. They've got the bomb control anyway, but this is it. MIBR have so far not had a single casualty in this fight, and they still have in the next round, which will be rifles, and a lot of utility, which is a nice change of pace considering the meta, it seems so far, is this 4-5 round. But Luminosity are going to have a ton of kit to go with them as well. So these SMGs are really going to be in a pretty long-range fight against AK-47s that have utility to back them up as well.
Yeah, MIBR, I expect them to get very aggressive with these SMGs early on here, maybe towards the end of Banana. I don't expect Luminosity to contest that too early, because MIBR's utility is through the roof right now, so we'll see the Molotovs towards the end of Banana. We'll see the smokes land there. MIBR should take control of that, and we'll probably see the early rotate over towards the A-bomb site, and it does look like that's what they are aiming to do here. Actually, no, just stacking 3 people early towards B here, not actually aggressing down. We are going to see the rotation come over towards A from Phelps, and this default has begun for the T side.
What's actually really interesting to me right here from MIBR is not the usual, which is where a CT team that has grenades, has Molotovs, has smokes, dumps it. Dumps like $1,500+ worth of utility down banana. Both teams would throw that at each other. This time MIBR completely reserved that. Not applying it at all. Here comes a grenade up over the top. It bounces down. Misses most of the damage there. Nekaz is getting close to the region where the an M4 could tap him, but you got to remember, utility damage here is going to be massive to just give the assistance for the SMGs to do a little bit more work.
And it does look like Luminosity will be favoring this B site right now. As we pass the 55-second mark on the clock, we do see all 5 members of the T side grouping up. Only 2 members on MIBR. They started off with 3 towards that site, but now it's on Fur and Fallen here. It does look like they're going to be boosting up towards this CT spawn area. As the execute comes in, I do imagine Fallen with a little bit of a bait to allow Fur to get the multi-frags.
Fallen's got another smoke here. And this is what I'm talking about, how reserved they are on this utility. He's going to drop this one at first origins. Fur gets the first and falls back. No trade is there. He'll spam through for a second and almost a third as well. Finally, Fallen does go down.
They're going
but there's
for
a potential. Yeah, the reboost is what's really going to hurt you. Henny is in the smoke. Steel is at the bottom of Banana. He will win that fight down there, so it is a 2v2. But look at the clock. That's going to start to favor the CT side. If Fur can round this corner, be brave enough to go through the smoke, he does not. So the round gets a second breath of life, a second extension, and Fur is in a 1v2 suddenly. But look at the damage that's been dealt. Steel and Henny both at the 30 and 40 range, but they're working together, and they're working around a flank right now, which is just going to buy some more time.
Fur has no idea here. He should be caught by Steel. This should be a fairly easy round. Steel spotting him out, Fur not being able to see that. And Luminosity will be on the board on a round that really, I thought they were out of there. You saw the MIBR hurl towards that B site. Actually, Fur boosted up, able to take down 2. And at that point, they can just go into the passive setup. Then Bolts gets the reboost, or sorry, I do believe it was Phelps who got the reboost towards that banana area. And at that point, they pick up another frag, and Luminosity really backs against the wall, not able to do much. But all of a sudden, Steel and Henny, 2 frags out of nowhere to actually open that site up.
Yeah, it is very fortunate that Luminosity do get that round, but we got to remember, MIBR, for everybody on MIBR's side, that was their first death. So they had a lot of money to spare, and they could treat that round as a bit of a burner round. It does a lot of damage to Luminosity's economy with only 2 surviving on that one as well. So really, both teams are at equal strength. If either team wins this one, I think it's going to be a second round to follow, which could be Luminosity's chance to be able to take the lead.
Taco actually opting for that AWP right now. No armor, plenty of utility. The Molotovs on MIBR have been extinguished. Looking at Luminosity's utility, they've got a couple smokes as Fallen does take down Bolts, and Nekaz trading that one out very quickly. Luke is picking up one towards middle, and we're into a 3-on-3.
There's fights all over the map, in apartments, over on Banana. Everything is going so far MIBR's way with those trades, trading 2 for 4. Leaving Henny alone. If you look at him right now, sure, he's made his way into lane, but in fact the bomb is miles away back towards T-ramp. So no matter what Henny does here, if he does manage to take a site, if he thinks he's going to end up getting a kill here, no matter what, he would have to respawn all the way back. But I like this from MIBR, actually. They don't know they have bomb control, but they've actually pushed coldzera out through the apartments. He back-checked to alt mid, saw nobody was home, and it just got confusing there for a bit. I think rotations have come back across. Possibly Henny pre-fired an angle. I was watching from a different perspective, but I did hear an AK shot ring out across the map, so then suddenly MIBR shifted their positions from that pop.
3-1 is the scoreline. Luminosity, because of that previous round that they actually picked up, only keeping 2 people alive, they weren't able to build too much economy, but that round overall was really 1v1s across the map here, as you do see Fur pick up 1, coldzera's picking up 2 towards the halls area. It was a fairly easy round for MIBR because of the fact that Luminosity didn't have the opportunity to trade any of those frags.
Now we've got the AWP for Fallen, the first AWP onto the battlefield. He looks into T-ramp from top mid and fades off. Seeing nothing there, though. But MIBR recognized that there is banana presence, and that AWP does shift. coldzera is holding the apartments up top. That AWP has shifted over to the lane, watching the boiler end of things, and then mid was Taco. So right now there is a weakness in mid, but right now it doesn't look like Luminosity is in a position to exploit that short window.
No, they are moving towards Banana right now, and Phelps is positioned here to get at least 1 or 2 on the entries, holding an off angle as well. So if anybody from Luminosity just take this wide swing, which I don't believe they're going to wait for the pop flashes to come in, which should be coming in momentarily as Steel throws his.
Phelps is lucky to get out of that one, but Fur on top of the new box picking up 3. Phelps gets the next 2 with the assist, so they interchange with one another, getting 2 and 3 kills apiece. MIBR are able to sway that anti-eco rather well. Again, not taking any real damage.
Yeah, very clean anti-eco round, just based off the positioning of Fur there, who was boosted up on top of that tri-box, creating a little bit of a crossfire with Phelps as well. When Luminosity comes in, they catch a molly right in front of them, so they're held up in this limbo towards that water area. Fur able to mow them down. Phelps chimes in with some kills of his own. And we've got a 4-1 scoreline here very early on.
Yeah, the rifles are back though. The Luminosity in that second round, they lost pistol. In the second round, they went for that full eco, and they had saved for utility, because utility is paramount on a map like Inferno.
Yeah.
And we see here Luminosity are investing pretty much into full AKs, just heading with a Galil, but really everybody else is shorthanded on grenades. We don't have any more Molotovs. We just have sets of smokes and flashbangs. So it's going to be a problem to try and pick off pit. It's going to be a problem to pick off lane. Like, you want to be able to burn these angles out. coldzera working around the smoke right now. He sees that's an execute coming his direction. He struggles on the first, and Steel leaps off the top balcony. Now Phelps following through and backing into the halls. He's got to worry about what's behind him possibly, but I believe he's got a friend back in tow. That would be Taco. He's now back to the bottom side of Boiler, as right now Luminosity have secured the pit, and they're securing kills a bit scatterbrained. Fights are taking through the back lines, through the front lines, all over the place. Phelps looking for the wallbang spam against Bulls, really requiring to pick up this kill. And interestingly enough, Fallen is still miles off at that B site, so apparently Bomb had not been spotted.
Yeah, Luminosity with full pit control here. All they need to do is take this slow as they do move into the site now. Fur the only man on this A site for the time being, so the bomb will be planted, but can Fur pick up anything to actually give this retake a full possibility?
Yeah, Fur right at the lane, trying to see if he could spot anybody crossing into the back pit. Bolts is there, and he's about to swing out, and this is getting nervous. Fallen's just trying to draw all the attention by spamming the op. All eyes should be upon him, or that's what Fur is going to try to abuse. Shots are ringing out. Look at this, just discipline from Luminosity. Great shot from Fur. The peek back from Lucas leaves Fallen all alone. Great shot from him. Now Lucas in the backside. They should know exactly where he's at. Can he bait out the shoulder? He wings him once. Down to the sidearm, Fallen to the headshot. He's got the kit. Does he have the time? Diffusing through, it turns white, and it detonates.
Oh my goodness, a great attempt there from Fallen. MIBR not able to pull off that round win off some great shooting from Lucas as well, who's able to take down Fur towards that halls. But really, I'd like to commend Phelps for making something happen there. The fact that Luminosity was able to get into pit, get those entry kills as well onto coldzera, and then Phelps makes the play to go up into halls, pick off one of the frags, and then control that entire area of the map. Really slowed down Luminosity from moving into that A site.
Yeah, I mean, it was really confusing in there, like what you're talking about, like getting up onto the balcony and then falling back into the apartment.
Controlling it.
It's wild strategy that doesn't happen all that often. This was a fast play. Phelps, completely blind, peeks out from behind the sandbags, and the B site is instantly wide open. Still a $1:30 on the clock, and Taco's shown up. He's picked off Steel, who was up on top of the orange boxes, but in all reality, I don't see MIBR getting a real good look at this retake. Fallen is still ways off, and they're just giving cover fire while they fall back and save on their weapons.
Exactly. Going for the save now is MIBR. Luminosity with a great rush towards B. That flashbang actually catching both Phelps and Fur towards the sandbags, causing them to just tuck in, hide. By the time they really even become unblind, Luminosity is already swarmed. They're already up by car, and they're able to pick up 2 very easy frags on their way to a round win.
All right, Luminosity change up the pace rather quick, and a lightning pace at that. So your 2 defenders there, Fur and Phelps, were your 2 top fraggers for MIBR, and you just managed to win it in spades.
Yeah, Fur actually off to a tremendous start right now, sitting at 12-3.
Yeah, 12-3, and prior to that rush, he obviously was 12-2, so he's been lights out. So it is Luminosity now that are collecting a little bit of the momentum, and MIBR are going to have to try and scrape the bottom of the barrel when it comes to fielding armaments for the rest of the guys. They had saved an AWP, they had saved a rifle, and it is MP9s and a FAMAS that comes in behind it.
Yeah, they still have that M4 that Taco had from the previous round. So MIBR, not the strongest of buys. The utility here is great, however. I'm curious to see if they're going to go aggressive towards Banana. They aren't just a nade as well as a smoke. And it does look like Henny and Bolts will take a little bit of damage, but not really too much in the process.
They're coming to top banana again, and Luminosity must sense some kind of weakness. Henny was peeking pretty wide around that, getting vulnerable to the coffin side of things, but he does reel himself right back in. And Luminosity probably did a B-rush strategy this prior, because MIBR has been very reserved on their utility usage on banana, so if they're not going to use those utility and smokes and mollies, then by all means, thanks for the rush.
I love that from Luminosity. They just don't take the chance towards the entrance of banana there. You saw Fallen push on the edge of that smoke, trying to get a pick towards banana. Luminosity popped that entrance, make sure that Fallen cannot get an easy kill. He has to fall back to construction now, and Luminosity fixating on this middle area.
Yeah, and that early attention to B has forced Taco back in rotation. Even though the bomb's still on banana, you've got
That's a good call.
The majority of your players from Luminosity are still towards that A site. But as that bomb gets deeper and deeper to banana, I sense that it is going to end up being a B hit, and as well as Steel. He's going through the underpass now. He'll make his way in for third in line to strike this site, and Taco's rotation, as we had seen earlier, is actually towards the correct direction. He's holding CT. Fur's at first oranges, and then way back is Fallen. He's at dark right now with his op. He's been flashed off. He's going to reset his aim, spotting one going across. Looks like a leg, and then a follow-up shot. Fur got one. Fallen's got the next as well, and they are into the crossfire. 3 CTs, all getting credit for those kills, it looked like, but Fur with 2 kills of his own. Taco 1, Fallen 1 as well. That was just a perfection of a trifecta of players that were lining into those into that lane.
Yeah, Luminosity really forcing into the site there, and they're going to catch a flash from Taco in the process. Taco forcing through the smoke, gets involved with Fallen, gets involved with Fur, throws his body into the fray, and he's able to come out with a frag of his own. That was a good B-hold from the CT side. Luminosity, on the other hand, really moving into that site, not having any luck in the process, getting shut down as soon as they try to open up.
In Luminosity's economy has just been able to keep its head above water. 2 rounds in a row after their final success rate after that 3rd round that they won, and then they won the 6th and 7th. But we're getting into the we're getting into the latter parts of this half, you can honestly say. It's definitely at the top of the 9th. But Luminosity's money's not good for longevity at this point. They've got 3 AKs, Henny with just a pistol, and then Steel with a UMP, so it's obviously going to look even worse if they can't manage to pull this round off. However, if they do win this round and secure the op from Fallen and some of the AKs that are on the CT side and get those back into their own hands, what you end up having is a boosted economy. So there's a chance that Luminosity could skyrocket and get probably 2 or 3 rounds off the back of this one if they can just manage it.
Yeah, MIBR actually favored the 4A setup to begin that round. Fallen getting a great pick towards Halls and then pulling himself out now. Exactly what you want to see. Moving back to banana, he's keeping the Luminosity side guessing as to where this op is actually going to be placed. In the previous round, he was opping B. This round, he starts off towards Halls, and right now, he's back towards B, where Luminosity is coming in once again.
Great shot from Bolts. Now Fallen's going to have to stand alone. He's got the burst. The second one looks all too easy for a man like him. And now he stands. 45 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time to get into the site, and Fallen will wisely collect his winnings after taking 2. Sure, you can have the bomb plant, but we're going to outnumber you 2-1 when it comes back into the retake.
Now with that smoke fading, Luminosity not having anything except Steel does take down the AWP of Fallen to give them some breathing room here as the MIBR members 2 towards banana to begin this retake.
That's actually exactly right, because if you have a CT player that has the off, it's going to be great. Steel gets a great couple of frags, leaving Phelps in a 1v1. This was 2v4. Suddenly even right back, and Henny has him right where he wants him. A surprise angle back towards CT, and I believe that's the 2nd time we've seen Luminosity come back from a huge deficit in the post plant.
Yeah, that was a 4-on-2 there, Dallas, that they actually came back from, and really off the back of Steel, who gets that first kill onto Fallen with that AWP, gives the Luminosity members a little bit more room to move around, and then towards the spawn, picking up Coldzera and allowing the final member on Luminosity to actually have that entire CT side to work with. So a great little play out of Steel, taking the round into his own hands, and he's going to get his team a 4th on the board.
Nope. The thing is, only 1 player was able to survive that from Luminosity, so instead of the solution that I was talking about where you could have an overwhelming rebound from Luminosity taking those AKs back into their hands, it doesn't end up happening that way. Now both economies are flatlined, virtually down to 0 at this point. Coldzera aggressive towards Boiler, spotting Lucas back there. This is a difficult angle to play with. You're going vertically up and down the stairs, left and right. He does get the kill against Nekiz, but it is traded back, doubly so by Luminosity. Now Coldzera spotting the next one, jumping up through. Steel actually manages to pull that one in, and it's 4v2 the other direction now. MIBR coming apart at the seams, almost trying to take a similar pistol strategy into this round.
Yeah, Fallen, the final member, able to take down Henny, do a lot of damage to Steel, but I don't think he's actually going to attempt this round. Most likely going to be able to save his UMP, bring it into next round. That's exactly what's going to happen. MIBR trying to change up the pace, trying to get in the faces as you saw the aggression towards Banana very early on, but Luminosity putting a halt to that right off the bat.
I think he just changed his no, a
just
weapon
wanted
to
the
recover.
AUG,
Okay,
yeah.
someone told him that there was an AUG there. I was like, oh man, maybe he's going to go for exit frags. Maybe the call was that there was a lot of damage dealt to Steel, Bolts, and Lucas that were left, but they will all disengage and move over to the next round, and Luminosity have slowly accumulated a little bit more and a little bit more success, so much so that's now drawn it back to 5-5, and Luminosity has the command, considering MIBR had invested deep into that round. Fallen's going to have as good as it gets.
Okay, and as we do have a tie game, MIBR onto an eco most likely, allowing Luminosity to take the lead for the first time in this series right now, and it does look like, yep, just a couple pistols being bought up, Dallas, not much more. Luminosity, on the other hand, Henny's actually going to pick up a MAC-10, and that's just to farm the economy he knows that he's going to be able to get here in this round.
Yeah, they know that one weapon was saved, so there is a pretty good possibility that at least one Luminosity player will fall. So you min-max this round, you get a MAC-10. And what I was actually thinking what could happen here is Luminosity playing another Rush B strategy, because the way they played Rush B last was due to the idea that, okay, there is a lack of utility that they're using on the B site. Now that they know there's a lack of utility due to economy, I thought maybe they would rush that, but they do not. Instead, they land a pretty good nade right into Fallen and coldzera's lap, who are playing a boost right now, and they return some damage, but that grenade alone was already more damage dealt to MIBR.
And now after that AUG making that initial contact, I do imagine that Henny would be prodding into this B site. We are seeing Luminosity just holding, not really forcing too much, but after those smokes towards Coffin and Spawn land, we are seeing Henny just going in. He's going to be able to take down Taco. There's still 2 more members of MIBR hiding within this site. Can he do it? One more onto Phelps. Is he going to be able to get Fur? Ooh, just playing a little bit of ring around the rosy as we do see Bolts come in.
He's coming for help.
And there you go.
He still falls to that. The AK gets him, so yes, one player does die in the end, but 2 kills for Henny already would have been great. Yeah, Fallen fights back.
I started to believe there because there were only 2 people on that B bomb site, so Fallen ends up taking down the bomb. The second peeker, if he gets him, then it changes into an entire round. Fallen can reset his position, maybe go for one more kill early on and let that bomb get recovered, and then look for that 1v1 as the round progresses. But it doesn't even play out like that as it gets taken down right away.
Yeah, I like that Fallen went for it too. There's going to be guns coming, and suddenly the tables have turned. And we had seen before Luminosity who were buying up AKs and a Galil with lack of utility. Now it's MIBR buying all rifles and suffering on that utility themselves. On a map like Inferno that plays out long, plays very, very likely into the lower 30 seconds before executes begin, and utility like that is so paramount to just slow it down as long as you possibly could.
Steel has made his way towards the end of halls. He's not peeked out just too far, and it does look like Luminosity will be coming up lane as coldzera concentrates not on halls, but on that lane.
Yeah, he's on a spot right now that he could instantly shoot and fall right into the pit. Now they go. He has fallen in, probably due to the flashbang that was there. Crossfire set up. Phelps has most of it lined up. It's only returned by 1, and like this was what I was talking about. They had a crossfire, but with Phelps getting the kills, they didn't recognize that Cold was in the pit the whole time. He didn't even really need to fire in all the chaos, and now it's just Bolts left in a 1v4, and things keep going back and forth, and MIBR, they'll win this round, but they still have to withstand a little bit more storm. I think Luminosity are going to be able to buy into this next round pretty comfortably.
Yeah, they definitely will be buying. I could imagine Steel dropping Henny in the AK, but guns are going to be on the field into this round. MIBR with a great A-hold there, and you were mentioning the fact that coldzera didn't have to fire a bullet, and yeah, that's because Taco as well as Phelps both getting involved in that round. Taco creating a little bit of a distraction as Phelps makes the contact. Cole drops off into the pit, able to pick up a kill later in the round just based off of his teammates getting involved very early on.
So yes, Luminosity are able to rebuy, and we start to see slight streaks appearing into the round feed. But MIBR have actually been prevented on getting any chains of rounds since the 4th and 5th round. We're already into the 13th. We're getting into the waning moments of this half. MIBR want to be able to put up some good numbers for their CT side. If they could manage to get to 9, win the half out, and it still ends up pretty par for the course, no matter how it ends up doing it, because Inferno's a pretty balanced map.
Luminosity looking to favor middle early on. They will be making a little bit of contact as Neck is moving up that mid. He's able to take down Taco. Phelps trading it out, and Henny also taking down Phelps will give mid the way of the T side, and they're going to abort. They're going to pull off, and they've pulled off MIBR from that B bomb site as Steel takes down Coldzera. That all but cements the fake here, Dallas. Luminosity going into an empty B site, going to be able to plant that bomb and most likely get their 7th on the board.
Yeah, and I think it's just now that MIBR are figuring it out. They rebound off. They're going to go through CT, and Fur's going to go towards Banana. But if Fallen goes in a bit prematurely here, he won't be able to rely on his teammate Fur that's out there. Lucas just spams him through the smoke, tags him right in the dome, and now it is just Fur left, and I think that's another save call at that point.
Yeah,
your loss bonus is actually awful for MIBR still.
I don't imagine Fur's going to be going for this as time winding down on the clock. No idea where any of these players are positioned. Too much to clear. He's just looking for exits.
Here's Lucas. Swings out. Fur gets the kill and is able to fall back. Now the bomb is going to actually keep Luminosity from pursuing that. If you started to chase that and first slowed you down, the bomb would detonate. Luminosity have to be worrisome about their own money. They have to hold on to whatever weapons they can as well, because Steel, Neckes, and Lucas have to rebuy. And Steel, for example, he's bought up his utility and armor, and an AK, I believe, has been donated to him. So they're spreading their money thin just to try and stay aloft. They just need to stay off a little bit longer because we only have 2 more rounds in this half.
Yeah, and actually both teams buying up to their last dollar, and just due to the fact that they realize that Luminosity's low on money and they can actually break it. Luminosity, on the other hand, well, they just won the round. Obviously, they're going to be buying back up. But for MIBR, this force is to hopefully pick up a 7th and break Luminosity's money for the final round.
There's that early utility that you anticipate. This time MIBR have really locked
nice
it in.
Nades.
4 people are at this B site, and Luminosity might start to count how many nades are coming down range. HEs have gone out, Mollies have gone out as well. A series of smokes, and it just seems tempting for Luminosity to try and push. Now they see they've lost it. Fur and Phelps get 2. Neckes gets 2 of his own. They start to retreat. Neckes is able to get away from the oven that is baking on Banana. And it's a man advantage for MIBR, but we've seen worse odds for Luminosity. They start to go back towards the A site. This is where Taco is, and he's just buried into the site. Right now he's at the ninja position, and Luminosity hesitate.
Yeah, they're just slowing down the round right now. They don't want to rush into this, don't want to give away the sound cues, but MIBR have played this round perfectly now, moving 3 members over towards A, or sorry, I should say 2 over to A. And that's the call once again to make here as Luminosity trying to wrap. We are going to see the peek from Coldzera. He's taken down, but he's able to call the wrap.
They're going B? Oh, they are.
Fallen can grab
right
one.
Through. Both of these teams are reading each other so well. Fallen sees the tail end of Lucas, and he's going to round this corner, spotting the first and the second, doing good damage, but it's back to a 1v1. Steel, does he bet that that was a full rotation off of the B site? He's going back through construction right now, and he seems pretty confident about it. Hucking the smoke over towards Banana, reading Taco like a book.
Into a 1v1 we go. Taco, no kid on his back here, Dallas, so he's going to have to close this one out early. Steel moving into construction. He also has a Molotov, so if he lands this on the bomb, he's going to be able to push that back just a little bit further. It looks like Taco will get timing. The Steel closes this one out. An 8th round for Luminosity, cementing the half win. While MIBR going to the final round, worse for wear. No money whatsoever. You see the SMGs being bought up, Dallas.
Yes, yeah. That's at least the 3rd time that we've seen Luminosity at least a man or 2 deficit.
Yeah.
Come right back into the round. Usually it's in the post plants. MIBR have really struggled getting back to those bombs. But Luminosity are just, they keep their chin up. When they're down and out, you'd appear them to be so. They managed to swing rounds right back to their favor.
Yeah, very confident in that round was Luminosity. And you were mentioning the fact that literally they're always a man down, and MIBR makes that bold decision there, Dallas, to play 4 people towards B at the start of the round. They aggress, they actually end up in the advantageous situation, and that prompts Luminosity now to move back to that A site, realizing that, hey, it's a heavy B stack.
I mean, talk about the rotations that were in here. We saw that it was a 4-man stack. Luminosity recognized it was a 4-man stack. They rebounded back towards the A site. They get a kill over by Arch, and then they sweep back into the B site from behind. Like, those reads are wild, and credit to MIBR as well. They had abandoned the B site expecting that they're rotating A anyway.
Exactly.
Both teams know exactly what each other do.
MIBR starting this round off with a very heavy B as we see 3 members playing that site, just anticipating the rush from Luminosity. They are going to pop flash and get aggressive. We will see Neck almost taken down, but he's able to take down further, left with 15 HP, and we're going to have a re-aggression now from the MIBR side.
Well, their own Molotov is keeping Phelps from getting there. He thought he wanted to swing around that wall to try and finish up the job, because they know that they've dinked Neckis. And Luminosity recognized that there was a weakness there too, because just in the prior round there were 4 CTs there. This time 3, and it's virtually the same aggression. Both teams fighting that as you usually typically see. But the disengagement goes, and we've got a minute on the clock.
Yeah, a lull in the round now as both teams slowing it down. MIBR not opting to go aggressive towards Banana once again. It will be Luminosity looking towards middle with a little bit of a left side mid smoke that has a massive gap.
It's kind of an awkward gap. He's trying to figure out if he can see through this one.
Well, even if one of the Luminosity players misstep and come towards Arch even the slightest bit, Taco's going to be able to spot this all the way down from middle, and he might even spot this now, and he's able to take down Henny.
Yep, that was a missed smoke, and it cost Henny his life. Back to a 4v4. Phelps is poking and prodding for some information in the apartments. Steele is up here as well, so he might end up with Phelps right behind him. He'll steal the AK and move up. Now it's over towards the B site where the remainder of the crew is. Steele has been lurking for the Luminosity side, so it should be pretty obvious. All of MIBR react. They're on their way in. Fallen just needs to stay alive. He swings out super wide behind the new box, goes down. Taco, great shot for him at least, but now it's a 2v1. We haven't seen any kind of clutch situation from MIBR yet. It's all up to Phelps to try and correct that error, though. He's gone for 2 flashes back into CT. Lucas behind the box. He does not know where Neckis is, but Neckis is only at 15 HP. Might not be too much of a problem for him to deal with.
Is Phelps going to check this, though, is the real question. Able to take down Neckis. Lucas peeking on him now. Phelps down to 14. Can he hit the shot here to make this round go his way?
He's going for the tap, so he gets a fresh magazine in as well, and Lucas knows that he's just burning the clock. He's annoying him, just giving him a little bit flirtatious peeks left and right, swinging out, and Lucas secures the half. It is a win out for Luminosity on the last 3, but they won 6 of the last 7 that were played out.
Yeah, definitely sweeping that momentum from MIBR right under them there. Luminosity coming back many times from a disadvantageous situation, which on Inferno isn't an easy thing to do. So a great half out of Luminosity as they move on to their CT side. And MIBR, well, let's see what they've got.
Yeah, so when we come back, we'll finish up the first map in the second half between MIBR and Luminosity. You're watching the Pro League.
Subdivide. I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight to be drawn aside. The man he is the one. You build your walls with faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all defy the burden to be born. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your mission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved room. We can take your conviction. a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt.
Oh, I wouldn't say plug it that.
Hello, hello, welcome back to the Pro League. It's Luminosity and MIBR, and you can see the stats from the first half we've played out so far. Steel and Fallen coming out on top. It looks like Henny was in there as well, at least that's by ADR. Look at Cold Zera and Fallen
Look
on
at
that
the
ADR.
ADR they're putting up in this, but they were only able to get 6 rounds.
Right, yeah, that's, I mean, you're putting bodies in ground at that point. You're picking up 2 players with over 100 ADR, and yeah, you are down by 3 to start off this second half. Not too hot. A little bit unexpected for most people. Maybe if you're a Luminosity fan, you say, yeah, I can see this coming all along.
Neck is taking a lot of contact with Phelps there to begin the round here. Luminosity, they tried for the banana aggression. They do have a double stack towards this boiler. Not really too much contesting with it, though, as it does look like MIBR moving towards Halls now will be Taco solo. Is he going to run into this? He does get shot at, does fall back as he is unarmored.
Yep, he's a soft Taco.
And he's got to save that utility.
Yeah.
He's a soft Taco.
All right, I mean, he's the utility. He's the support carrier in this round. So you've got Fallen and Taco that have Smokes, Molly, and Flash. They are going to pick up a site. So what site do you think it's going to be with 2 Smokes, a Molly, and a Flash?
I imagine it will be a B. I'm going to say it's a BXQ, but by the looks of it, because the bomb has been hanging around towards middle so much, yeah, they're going to go off towards this A site. Taco now Molotoving off what I can imagine is going to be Pit and MIBR to hit this lane momentarily.
Taco just
or actually wrap on A, okay.
Yeah, they're going to try and yeah, do like a soft Taco wrap on A. They aren't able to do anything up on the front end through lane. They have lost everybody on that side, and now you've got this double pressure from Arch and through Library. MIB are forced to squeeze out of Arch back towards CT. They've gotten through the B site somehow, but the bomb is just now being recovered. This is an interesting pistol strategy that involved Phelps going through that B site and catching apparently rotators, or at least evicting the anchor from the site.
Basically in that round, MIBR made it seem like a default A hit, but with 8 seconds, Phelps actually defends off that bomb plan as Cole does get it down. Steel is out of this round as Lucas, final member left, does take down Phelps, and Cold on 19 HP. Can he do it, Dallas?
Second oranges. If Lucas swings wide, which it does look like he is, he stops, he hesitates. He stands up on top after stomping through water, expecting him to come out of new box or dark. That's where he was giving his attention, but it was actually second oranges.
That was a good clutch out from Cold. That was a massive round that MIBR needed. Phelps, I really like that protection towards the bottom of Banana, able to take down Steel. If Phelps goes down there, Cold, really no opportunity to close that round out. But just addressing the strategy that MIBR chose to do, it did look like they were trying to convince Luminosity that it was going to be an A hit, and in doing so, they're going to keep those 2 players concentrated on the lane side, while MIBR simply just runs towards that Arch side, takes the fight. They unfortunately ran into a bunch of Luminosity players, but they made it out.
I almost feel like that was just a heads-up intermission call,
like an audible,
because you had Cold that jumped out of the balcony.
Taco.
And was playing Taco. He jumped out of the balcony and landed in lane and took a fight, but he lost that fight. So it looked to me like it was going to be an A hit. It just evolved into a sweep B.
Speaking of sweeping up towards B, it will be MIBR clearing out the close Banana. Neck is with a great shot onto Fallen, and it will be a 4v5 now for the T side.
He's even looking to line up the next shot. He'll be delaying anything at B with that smoke that he just uses to plug up top Banana. They'll leave Phelps at that top Banana position. The bomb does start to bounce back, though. It does appear those Steels going through the apartments now.
This is
He's
massive.
Actually hot on the heels, and look at the rotations.
So much information.
Reads this so well. They're using flashbangs on the front line and smokes as well, just to slow this down and allow Steel to get in there. If Luminosity can manage to just trap MIBR right here at top banana, it would be an absolute disaster, and it's shaping up that way. 4-on-4 on the site, but an extra man from behind. Lucas trades his life, and here comes the flank from the back end. Steel has that one, and suddenly there's nowhere to go. Phelps and Taco, they're just in the mud. They're in the thick of things. They can't even find Steel from behind. Phelps takes the frontline fight, but there's CTs absolutely everywhere. Neck is in dark, gets the last 2 kills with the Deagles, and it's a 7-10. What a nice round from Luminosity. Just heads up play. We talked about both of these teams reading each other really well.
That was honestly just based off Steel's aggression there, being able to get that much information off of the Halls push, able to tell his teammates, hey, stack B, I'm not seeing anything in apartments, I haven't seen anything in alternate middle, and in fact, nobody's even in the mid area right now to contest me. So he's able to go up right towards the back of Banana and strike MIBR just when they thought they were going to be able to move into that site.
That was unreal. Just what a read from Luminosity. And MIBR still struggling to even get consecutive rounds. I think Phelps just walked backwards into a Molotov after a spray from a rifle, and he is forced to a crispy end. Deagle's in play for MIBR. It's the Deco round. They've got armor in there as well. They've bought all the way down, trying to catch Luminosity before they can get 2 in a row, but it does look like there's enough money in Luminosity's bank account to afford up so much rifle and so much SMG and so much utility on this that they shouldn't have too much of a hard time staving this off.
Taco's made his way towards the end of Halls right now, and nobody's really fighting off against him. He's prodding out for the information as the rest of his team have made their way up brackets, and they're going to be wrapping onto A, where Lucas is patiently waiting.
They might wrap B on this roll. They're coming off to the left side arch. Lucas is the only player in arch, and he is absolutely wiped out. It does look like a wrap. They're pushing to the back side. Now, they're still going to strike A. No, they're just clearing out CT thoroughly. Interesting with the bomb being in that position with Fall and the MP9 at range. He's fighting players with armor, so he needs to keep this bomb in a pretty safe position. But MIBR are using all the clock.
Yeah, 30 seconds left now, and they still haven't decided what area they want to just pressure even further. It does look like they are going to be pressuring A. So Cold Zero now moving up towards lane. A little bit of contact being made as well with these pit players. As Steel just trying to defend, falling with a great 1D. Gets onto Bolts to defend this bomb site.
All he needs to do is slow it down. 13 on the clock, and he's still alive. He's being pressured from every which angle. The bomb has made it to a safe position in the site. The round is extended, and now players start flanking around. Henny's got that kill against Vert in the graveyard. Taco in Fallen. There's a flank to the back end. Taco has somehow managed to get behind the lines. He has the first, but he can't convert to the second, so now Fallen needs to stand tall. He has a much smaller weapon than he's usually accustomed to, and both these players have armor. They're going to start to wrap on him. He takes a great headshot. Followed up. It's just Henny now. 87 HP, and how quickly Bolts melted. I thought there was a chance there. But there it is. Luminosity do get 2 rounds in a row, only just. What an interesting strategy from MIBR.
Yeah, well, I mean, overall, they were just looking for Deagle picks across the map. You see them started off towards that arch pick. They move into arch, make a little bit of contact. They're just spreading the map on a round that they essentially said, we're just looking for damage. They know that they're not really fully committed into it. Winning the round would have been nice, but doing that much economic damage is just as good, because look at Luminosity right now, Dallas. The most money they have is Lucas. So if MIBR are able to pull off this buy round, well, they're going to send Luminosity onto a save, giving them the opportunity to start coming back into this game.
Yep, still neck and neck. Scout peek was there at top mid, it looked like, but Steel was able to back off before Fallen could line him up. So there's a lot riding on this round. MIBR have really struggled to get 2 rounds in a row. Like I had said before, rounds 4 and 5, which were at 19. 4 and 5 were the last 2 in a row that MIBR got. After that, it's just been 1 at a time.
Henny now aggressive towards Banana, able to take down Phelps, falling with the scout, doing a little bit of chip damage, but not too much going on there as the remaining MIBR members have taken up brackets, and that's going to prompt the Luminosity side to get a little bit more passive as you see Nekes move into the library area.
Luminosity always seems to have a good read. That rotating player, that whether he's at B or at A, is always in the right neighborhood. And MIBR go with the virtual same strategy as last time. They're trying to wrap this A site with 3 players right now. Nice pop flash in. A lot of damage dealt to Fallen, but he just still stands. But still no ground taken by MIBR. It cost him a body. They were able to take 1 in return. but still, I mean, you don't have the utility to be able to come around these corners. Cold and Fallen are sub 10 HP essentially. Now Fur gets that kill, but still so much damage has been dealt. I mean, it's just a breeze away, and all your players are going to die. One shot apiece. Lucas is finishing up, but you're playing little screw to Fallen. 18 seconds for Fallen to be a hero.
He has to hit a great shot here on the pit player, and Bolts moving into the site. He is going to be looking for the bomb plant overall. Not a bad idea out of him. Bolts letting him get that bomb down as well, not wanting to risk the round. He doesn't know how low Fallen is.
He's dead to the flank, 100%. Where's it at?
There you go.
There it is. Finally, it shows up. So Fallen is able to absorb a scout shot and then ends up going actually, it wasn't an op shot, but he took a lot of damage. Everybody did. Everybody ends up somewhere around that 10 HP mark. And Luminosity, again, thwart a disaster. Their money has been a bit slow to grow, but MIBR, they continue to buy. They're still buying coming into this.
Flank. Lucas being able to take 2 players down. I mean, they were so low after all their fights,
yeah,
right?
everybody was 10 HP there.
It was one of those situations where maybe if somebody had 30, 40 HP, they could have had an opportunity, but they were so low that it was just cleanup crew for Lucas.
Well, here's the thing. MIBR have force bought again.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Again and again and again. But, however, they are getting bomb plant consistency, so there's a little bit extra incoming coming into this, and the loss bonus is as well starting to mount. So if MIBR can continually get bomb plants, more power to you. Your next round is going to have even better guns than this.
That's true.
But Luminosity, on the other hand, they're still winning rounds at the end of the day.
We're getting to the point in this second half, though, where they can't really risk it too much anymore. They want to get these strong buys in because, yeah, you might be getting closer and closer to breaking their money or possibly even getting your AKs on the field, but will it be too little too late by the time you get there?
That's right. The same smoke that comes down, that one will drop on Arch side. MIBR are trying to take this A side through lane. Here's the spray down from Bolts. He's in the back of the pit. Steel has the first, and Bolts is just now starting to get burned out of position. He'll self-smoke, and he's got a lot of room for cover, but he's got one, and looks like the next, but Phelps at low HP is able to pick up 2 kills with the Galil. It's back to a 2v2. The bomb's coming out of the apartments, and he misses his shot, so they know there's one player back there, and as soon as this bomb gets planted, they should know exactly where both of the terrorists are. So, Luminosity has the information. MIBR does not. Nekez swings out, gets the first, and now it's just Phelps. Prior to this, it was Fallen with like 2 HP. Phelps has to do it with 4 HP, and he's out in the open. So, in pit is where his grave will be, and Luminosity again put rounds up. MIBR keep putting bombs down, but this will be a 13th for Luminosity. I mean, Inferno is one of those maps that, yeah, you can get away with AKs, full AKs. You don't need the op, but, I mean, you are also preventing Fallen from playing his match.
Yeah, what you just said, I completely agree with. Inferno being a map that you can play very fast, it's a lot of tight angles, you don't necessarily need enough. But I'd like to address Phelps getting this 3K here. Really, no opportunity for him to do it. He had to force all those kills on his own, giving the advantage to the CTs who were holding those angles, and he comes out on top with just a little bit of HP to spare. Taco going down just as that bomb gets planted is just leaving Phelps in an unfavorable situation, unfortunately. Henny, that Molotov doesn't burn him out. He's able to push behind Car now and take down Fallen, as Steel takes down Taco towards the end of Halls. Luminosity find themselves in a 5-on-3 with 1:30 on the clock.
They have gained nothing from this so far. And it seemed like Fallen, he jumped up on top of the wood stack, but so many flashbangs came at him and Molotovs that were obscuring his vision with the little haze above them. He couldn't see anything. And the op that just swung around the corner eliminated him, and it does look like MIBR will collect themselves with what they have left going over towards this B site. That's where Nekez and Henny are defending. Henny's got the op, so you would anticipate that Henny gets his entry frag, and it's suddenly back to a 2v2 on this site with reinforcements coming. Henny does miss his first shot, though, and second. Phelps goes through the smoke at CT to try and surprise the site, but Lucas is back there defending. Still another miss from Henny, but Cold Zero's instantly there. Gets that kill, and first left with 1v4, and losing health quickly. This is a great CT side from Luminosity.
Yeah, unfortunately, MIBR, they're not really having too much utility to be able to Molotov out that site. You actually saw Nekez playing towards that tri-box, and he had a smoke ready. He was like, okay, the second they Molotov tri-box, I'm going to drop this at my feet and get it going. He doesn't actually need to, as Phelps goes down, and then at that point, really, Luminosity able to clean up the round with the rotators coming in and the man advantage and the clock running down. Just everything was against MIBR in that round.
I liked the way they did that. They kept all 3 of those players over towards the B site. They smoked off CT. CT, and they tried to wrap Phelps around the B site. They just did not anticipate Lucas that was so deep to CT. He just rotated around, and he was just coming across CT, and so he just has a field day with Phelps that's jumping through the smoke.
It was a great idea.
Yeah,
you
have to get creative if you're going to win a 3v5.
Exactly. If Phelps, let's theorize right now. So Phelps gets into construction. He comes around. He's able to pick off that first player by the tri-box who's got a smoke out, and then maybe the MIBR players can roll in and kill that second player who was the opper. So there was an opportunity there, but Lucas, yeah, he thwarts all of that with a great rotation to take down Phelps.
Deep smoke to bottom banana, and MIBR are not ahead of it. They're well back. So another 10 seconds for that one, and then, oh no, MIBR are just ahead of the smoke. They don't care. They need to be able to pick up rounds immediately, because this would be Luminosity's 15th, and nothing better coming the way for MIBR. They would need the bomb plant to be able to make sure that they have a buy at least like this again. But I don't think they'll end up having the op or anything pretty like that unless they steal it right away from Henny's hands with a round win. They round top banana right now, coming across the corner. Nekus is surprised that it's a dry peek around CT. He drops a smoke at his feet. Henny with a great shot. He's forced to start falling back. Worried about flankers coming around, wrapping similar as they did before. Steel will come across Lucas's body. He flubs his Molotov due to the peek, but instead he ends up delaying himself. Sure, he got that kill, but Taco might as well still be alive, delaying the retake. 3v3 right now, as they come across construction, CT, and banana.
These MIBR players being pinched, falling, trying to get into another position, is taken down by Henny. Final members, Fur by the coffin, Phelps by Tribox. Can they get something going?
Excellent.
As Steel takes down Fur, it's all onto Phelps with 12 HP, and he too shall fall. Luminosity securing that 15th round here, Dallas, and what a start to this series we've got.
That was just a great play from Steel right there. Everybody was watching everybody. You had these angles, so even as Henny got the kills and he was coming across through water, Steel was able to get the player that was on top of the coffins actually trying to aggress to get on an angle above the grill to look down into him. But Steel cover fires him, makes sure that there's no casualties on that 3v3 retake. Actually, it was a 3v4 retake, if I'm not mistaken, for a short time. But MIBR have a huge, long road ahead of them to win 8 in a row. Nothing that either team has done so far in this first map. So I anticipate LG to be able to take map 1.
Stellar CT performance from the Luminosity side here, really just coming alive and now just shutting down that banana early on as Lucas and Nekus chime in for kills apiece.
They're still throwing grenades at him.
Fur's very low on HP here right now, and Steel taking down Coldzera towards middle. A 2-on-5 now with a minute 30 on the clock. These MIBR players are catching nades left, right, and center. A Molotov comes down now, and this is keeping them at bay. Look at Steel.
Fight.
Oh, he spotted him. He spotted Fur's head.
Right, Fur didn't see him, though. So they know where Fur is. They don't know where Phelps is. He's actually pushed up towards bracket, and he's searching. So you've got disconnected MIBR players, but Luminosity got an indication of where this one's headed.
There is an opportunity for this round to be won. The solo member bolts in the site. If Phelps is able to take him down, the bomb can come out of apartments without a worry, and that's going to allow the post-plant situation to arrive, and they'll be able to reset up. They've got smokes, they've got utility. It depends on this kill within the site here, Dallas.
Yeah, and with Steel seeing the player on bridge and going back towards T-ramp and still seeing nothing, you got to feel like it's going to be an A hit. I'm surprised somebody from B site hasn't rotated over to give Bolts help. The smokes are there. Nobody's moving really yet. Everybody's still anchoring their sights, hesitating from Luminosity's side.
The longer this takes for MIBR to get this kill, oh, and Bolts takes down Fur, and the rotation's coming in. Phelps should be taken down, and Luminosity have done it in the first map, Dallas. They're going to upset MIBR 16-7.
Yeah.
What a confident win.